Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now in today's episode we're going to be talking all about storage. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but bear with me, I'll try and make it as entertaining as humanly possible. So, if you were into computers back in the mid to late 90s and even early 2000s, you're probably familiar with this thing, Iomega's zip drive. It was an extremely popular storage medium that let you fit 100 megabytes of data onto a single disk, which back before the CD-ROM became popularized was a pretty big frickin' deal. By comparison, a high-density 3.5-inch floppy diskette could only fit 1.44 megabytes of data, so having 100 megabytes on a disk that was relatively the same size was pretty awesome. Of course, a CD could fit even more than that, but I always viewed the era that the zip drive was being sold in as kind of a transitionary period between floppy disks and optical disks. Software was starting to be sold on CDs, but not everybody had a CD-ROM drive in their computer, so many publishers offered both a CD and floppy version of their software. But zip disks were primarily used by everyday computer users for things like backing up data, freeing up hard drive space, and taking documents between work and home. This was because even though a standard CD could hold more data, you could only write to it one time, whereas zip disks functioned like floppies in that you could write and delete files from them whenever you wanted. And even when blank CDs themselves became more affordable, CD burners were still pretty expensive, and it would take longer for them to drop in price and eventually become standard on OEM computers. But they eventually did, and that combined with the ever-increasing capacity of hard drives is what killed the zip drive, though it was a very slow death. Zip lingered into the early and even mid-2000s and saw both 250 megabyte and 750 megabyte disks released, but it never supplanted floppy drives to become the next industry standard format, as Iomega had probably hoped, but it was certainly the most successful of these super floppy formats, of which there were a ton. Even some others from Iomega, like the Jazz Drive and the Click Drive, they had some other options as well. But today, we're going to be talking about a much less successful storage format that competed with Iomega's zip drive. It's called the SparQ. It was released in 1997 by a company called SyQuest, which had been in the computer storage game since the early 1980s. And they had released their fair share of storage devices throughout the 90s, and the SparQ was looking like it could be a respectable competitor to the Zip and the Jazz Drive. The disks could hold an entire gigabyte of data, as evident by the 1.0 gigabyte on the box there, and were relatively affordable, but unfortunately, the SparQ would be one of SyQuest's last products before they went bankrupt, and that's because these things were terribly designed. Now that's not to say that Zip was perfect. I mean, you certainly had your fair share of issues with zip drives and disks as well, but they were far more widespread with the SparQ drive here. These things had far more issues and were a major contributing factor in the company's bankruptcy. Both the drives and the disks could actually cause each other to break. So if your drive failed with a disk inside of it, not only could the drive break any new disk that you insert, but the disk you had in the drive could break any other drive that you inserted it into. And with the SparQ drive being priced pretty low to where SyQuest was barely scraping a profit from these things, they couldn't make back the losses on the warranty claims and eventually filed for bankruptcy. And funnily enough, Iomega actually purchased part of the company's assets only for themselves to be acquired by EMC about a decade later. And what's really interesting is that the SyQuest website is still online to this day, though it was last updated in 2003. And this is because the part of SyQuest that didn't get acquired by Iomega still lingered around for a few years and continued to provide tech support for existing users, and it even continued to sell through SyQuest's inventory, of which there was a lot. The unit I have here is, as you can see, brand new, factory sealed, never been opened before, which usually is kinda rare and unique for a vintage item like this, but not really so in this case at all. There are still a ton of these things out in the wild, so much so that there are more brand new SparQ drives and disks for sale on eBay than there are used ones. I picked this one up at a thrift store back in 2014, I would say, and just never did anything with it for whatever reason, so yeah, let's change that. Let's kind of experience what it would have been like to walk into your local Circuit City back in 1997 and buy one of these because the sales clerk told you it was going to be the next big thing in storage, and then you would get inevitably disappointed. Or maybe you had a great experience with this, but you probably didn't. Maybe you did. But you know what you'll have a really great experience with? Today's video sponsor, Linode, who I'll be talking more about later on. But anyways, let's go ahead and open this up. The shrink wrap has actually started to tear here. So we'll go ahead and break the seal. And just taking a look at the contents here, we've got the SparQ Drive itself, we've got the one cartridge. Okay, I was kind of wondering that because it shows 3 here on the front. I was wondering if it's going to be 3 or just 1, and it's just 1. So, yeah, here's all the stuff on the back. You got everything in a bunch of different languages. Right here, you've got these really happy people using the SparQ Drive. I'm sure this is how everybody looked when they got this thing. And, yeah. I know that there's going to be one guy out in the audience who's going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. These things were great, because there's always somebody who has a great experience with every product that I, like, diss on this channel. But, you know, I'm just kind of going by what the reviews of this thing were, what the tech press was saying at the time, and I mean, the company went bankrupt, but there's always the case of somebody having a good experience. So if you had a good experience with this thing, I'm not trying to discount that, I'm just saying that most people complained, from what I was able to get from my research anyway. Because, yeah, this thing was not around very long. So, right here, we have the disc itself. The cartridges themselves are a bit thicker than zip cartridges. Of course, there's more data on here, too. But these also use a different storage technology, from what I understand as well, compared to zip, or I think jazz drives. One of the two, they are different in how they actually store data. But, yeah, so there you go. It slots into the drive. It has this starter label. I guess they just do this on the one that you that they include, so you know that this is like the starter one. Oh, this is really nice. They include, you know what? I was actually looking for one of these. I was looking for a beige 3.5 inch to 5.25 inch bay adapter. And I just got one. The drive itself, the front of it here is black, but this is beige, which goes well with most computer cases from this time. But they did make the drive black, which, you know, is fine. This definitely has a nice sleek look to it, but I kind of would like to have this in black as well to match the drive, but then again, this will match the 98 PC, whatever. So, yeah, the discs, they just slot in. I'll show you, you know, how that works. Of course, very, very simple. You just open it up here. Oh, wait a second. We got to take out, there's this little protector in here, so we got to take that out. For shipping use only, open door and pull tab to remove. Well, good thing we did that. And so, yeah, the drives, the discs here, if this thing does not want to stick to it here, they just go right in. And they just kind of lock in like that. We got some mounting screws. Gonna definitely be useful. And we've got all of our documentation and a floppy disk, which has the software on it, the internal EIDE configuration. And there might be a CD in here as well. No, probably not. They wouldn't really need to do that. I just saw this here and I was like, oh, is this a CD sleeve? No, it's not. But yeah, so floppy disk. I've probably said drive when I'm referring to disk and vice versa. It's very easy to do when I make these kind of videos. So here's your warranty card. Here's your software guide. This is giving me a synchronous vibe, just the way that this packaging is designed and the color scheme that they're going with. Not that I'm calling this a scam or anything. So software guide. Thank you for buying a SyQuest SparQ Drive, the high-performance, high-value removable storage solution. You can sign up for the SegaSoft Heat Network. Welcome to the SparQ 1.0 gigabyte drive. Congratulations, you're now the proud owner of a brand new SyQuest SparQ removable cartridge drive. Chances are you purchased this exceptional SyQuest product with a specific use in mind. I certainly did. It was to make a video like over 20 years after the thing came out. You got these photos here, some people that are looking super happy with their SparQ drives, and yeah. You have a user's guide here, and you have your little installation pamphlet here, which is like a nice fold-out poster thing, which I actually don't really like these things because you gotta like open this up all the way and like, you know, this would be much nicer if it was just in a book that you could flip through, but you know, you got more colorful graphics on here, so I'll give them credit for that. So you unpack it, open up your computer, blah, 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 you know, put it in, make sure the jumpers are configured properly, which I have to actually look at this to make sure that I configure this right. Oh, and hey, speaking of cutting costs, I just noticed that the box here, the reason why that it's got the external drive here on the front is because they only had one box for the external and internal drive, and on the internal ones, they would put this sticker over it that said it was internal, and even down here, under this package includes, it says universal power supply and parallel port cable external in parentheses there. That's why it says external model shown here. So yeah, they just had one box for both of them. So you'd have to be making sure that you look at this down here and make sure that it doesn't say internal if you want to actually get the external one, because you'd probably be pretty disappointed if you bought this thinking it was this and you actually ended up with this. But of course, not that it matters now. I mean, this was like over 20 years ago or whatever. Alright, so we've got the 98 PC with its side panels off, and we're just going to pop out this bay cover here. Should just have to do that, get a little prying tool there. And we're first going to actually put the SyQuest drive into here, into this adapter. So let's just slot it in through the front here. Definitely a pretty tight fit. Okay, that's too far. You know what, I probably should have just done it like this way to begin with, but whatever. So there we go, it is in, the holes are lined up, and we do have two sets of screws in here. Alright, so we've got the drive mounted in the adapter here. Interestingly enough, there were only 3 screws for mounting this in the adapter. The other 4 here are for mounting the adapter into the case. So yeah, we're just missing a screw right here, but whatever. And yeah, I'm definitely not a huge fan of this flap here that you have to pull down every time you want to put a disc in or take one out. I can tell it's definitely a cost-cutting measure they did. You know, the zip drives here functioned like floppy drives in that you just slide it right in. There's a little gate here that goes up as you put the disc in. But, I mean, it works. It's just not super ideal. And yeah, so what I've done here is I did have to take out some of my IDE cables because I had this one. I had this end connected to the motherboard, which has, you know, this other end on that I could use to connect 2 devices. So I'm gonna wire this end to the motherboard, and then hopefully we'll be able to connect the I almost said tape drive, I'm thinking of that other computer I have, the SparQ drive and the CD drive here just on this, but I'm not sure if that's gonna work because this is gonna be a really tight fit here, but we'll try it. So we're going to slot in the SparQ drive, and there we go. Alright, so, yeah, this is what I thought. You see how the drives are, like, this is not even here? This is not going to work. That is way too tight for my liking, so I'm probably going to, yeah, I don't really like that at all. I mean, it's not even, I don't even think it's all the way in on here. I mean, or maybe it is. Alright, I got a different IDE cable. There's way more slack on here now between these 2 drives, so I definitely prefer that. We are going to remove the jumper here. If I can reach it, I should have just done this before. We're going to remove this so that this will not be the secondary master, because we want the CD drive to be the secondary master. And we're going to plug in this Molex cable, and we should be good to go, just like that. And I gotta say, it honestly doesn't look too bad. I mean, it kinda blends in, honestly, with this nice beige outline around it. This will definitely come in handy because, I mean, I'm gonna take this SparQ drive out of here, spoiler alert, this is not gonna be in here permanently. But I can now do something I've wanted to do for a while that I've just been putting off, and that is getting a CF card reader that I can just have on the front here, because then I can easily just swap CF cards instead of having to constantly reinstall operating systems on this hard drive, which I should have done, I know, I should have done a long time ago, but hey, better late than never, right? Alright, so we're going to begin by popping our installation floppy diskette into the 98 PC's floppy drive here. And if we go into my computer, you can see that there is a new removable disk D that we have in here, and this is the SyQuest SparQ drive, at least I would assume. Of course, it's going to say it's not ready right now. We're going to open up the floppy here, and we'll install this, because I believe there are some programs on this floppy diskette, which it appears that Explorer has frozen. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, this is not looking good. Warning, the system is either busy or has become unstable. Like, already, we're not even... I mean, this isn't Windows Me. I mean, come on. Like, this is Windows 98. It's got to behave better than this. Yeah, that's just from me trying to open up the frickin', you know, Windows Explorer window for the A drive, and it, like, freaked out. So, alright, we'll probably have to restart. System is busy. Okay, we're just going to do Control-Delete again to restart your computer. Just waiting for everything. I've got a lot of stuff that starts up with this computer. I got to go in and configure this because I don't need like McAfee virus scan and desktop architect, which I did a video on a while back. I don't really need all this stuff running in the background, so we'll get out of that. We're gonna disable that and disable Norton. Guys, yeah, I've got Norton and McAfee on this computer. Yeah, that's a great combination there. All right, so let's pop in the floppy diskettes, open up my computer, and let's go to the A drive. There we go, that's a lot better. So we've got an install executable. We also have it's a PIF file there. Let's run install.exe. This might be yeah, well, it is a DOS program. The installation did not complete successfully. The problem may be that there's no power to the SparQ drive. The SparQ parallel port or EIDA cable is not installed correctly. I mean, we know that it's here because the computer recognizes it. You know, I wonder if we try to let's just put this in here in the SparQ drive and just see what happens. Apparently there's stuff on here. There's 717 megabytes of used space. So I guess they include some stuff on here. Yeah, it works. So we don't really need the driver from here. 195 has built-in support for removable drives to the SyQuest internal ID drives and may be successfully installed and used without the need for a SyQuest driver. Okay. Well, that answers that. So you need this for Windows 3.1, not 95. But let's see what we got in here. We've got documents. We got an Acrobat folder. Credits.txt. Okay. So I guess we have Acrobat Reader on here. Oh my gosh. Okay. 16-bit. Oh yeah, it's just Acrobat Reader. We got like a setup executable in here. Do we have Acrobat Reader on here? I actually don't know. Yeah, we do. We've got 4.0, so we have a newer version. So we don't need that. We've got software, Windows Easy Backup Technical Bulletin. Okay. A SyQuest bulletin from January 23rd, 1998. SyQuest 195 Utilities and Easy Backup Help File. Welcome to the home of SyQuest, where we're taking the technology of removable cartridge hard drives to new heights. Copying a driver directory to your SyQuest drive using Easy Backup. So it's about this Easy Backup utility that I assume is a backup utility. From the name, that would be a, you know, pretty good inferencing there. So that's what we have in software. We also have SparQ, which we've got a few other, we got this poster here. Oh, this is the, okay, so this is like digital versions of the stuff you had in the box, because this right here is that large, you know, fold-out thing. Although this is for the external one. Yeah, it is, because, yeah, parallel port. So that's nice. And then we have a user's guide, which we have also on print. So it's just digital versions of the user's manual and everything. So yeah, that's everything in documents. DrawPlus. Yeah, we just have some software on here. This is Serif, SyQuest presents Serif DrawPlus 3.0. And we're done. So I should point out, if it's not already clear by the way that the title of the application is up here, this is not a SyQuest program. This is a Serif program. And SyQuest just put their name on it as like, oh, SyQuest presenting Serif DrawPlus. So yeah, Serif applications. I think, is there any SyQuest branding on here? I think it's just literally a standard install of Serif DrawPlus. Yeah, we can kind of mess around with this a little bit. Let's create an ad. Oh, and speaking of ads, now is a great time to talk about today's video sponsor, Linode. Linode's Linux-based virtual machines are an incredibly easy way to get started in the world of cloud computing. If you've been looking for a provider that has the tools and infrastructure to scale and deploy all kinds of applications, they've got you covered. Their worldwide network of data centers are equipped with enterprise-level capabilities like load balancers, object storage, and Kubernetes, and the predictable, no lock-in pricing that they offer means that you can start small to get a feel for what they offer before deciding to upgrade to a higher tier in the future. future. For the past 2 decades, they've been making cloud computing affordable, accessible, and simple, leading both businesses and individuals to trust them with their cloud computing needs. And they'd love to have you try them out. So as a thank you for watching this video, if you sign up for a new Linode account through my link in the video description, you'll receive a 60-day $100 credit to give them a test drive for completely free. So whatever your hosting needs might be sure to check them out, and huge thanks again to Linode for making this episode possible. That was not planned, but that was a really freaking good segue opportunity, so I had to take it. But okay, let's maybe pick, I don't know, a special event ad. And event title, New Hampshire. This is what it has auto-populated in here. Oh, I guess that's from the template, that's why. So, New Hampshire firework display. Alright, let's maybe make that MJD's firework display. Monday, November 5th at 9 p.m. We got a background that we can choose. I really like that one. And choose your main photo. We're going with the firework. And press finish. And there you go. It creates a, you know, a little thing here that you can move around. Pretty cool, definitely. So, I mean, I could probably do a whole video on Serif DrawPlus. I've never actually used this before. This is my first time kind of messing around with it. But I do know of Serif. They're still around today. So, we're not going to bother saving that. Or, you know what? Maybe I should have. Whatever. You know, we always have another opportunity. So, that's DrawPlus. Now, what is Heat? SegaSoft Heat. Oh, that's where the Sega stuff came from. Was kind of like an online gaming network slash system thing. I never used this at all, but it was a thing back in the 90s. The mid to late 90s, and I assume it lasted a little while after that. Actually, it looks like it shut down at the end of 2000, so it didn't last for super long. But this is like a desktop client. So yeah, it's like a launcher of sorts. We can go to Heat components, Heat exclusive games. You've got like Scud, Industrial Evolution. We can install that. Yeah, this is probably better saved for its own video if there's really any interest in that. I wouldn't know if you could... Oh yeah, and look at this. Heat.net is now for heating and cooling information. Who runs this website? It is a WordPress site. It still displays here in IE, what is this, 5? Yeah, IE 5. It displays just, well, not just fine, but it displays well enough to where it can actually load the page. Though it's not HTTPS, so that certainly helps. But yeah, so it's like, it's just heating information now. But yeah, this whole thing is probably better saved for its own video. And if I say that a few times throughout this one, it's because I don't want to spend the entirety of this video talking about like all this, because I could very easily go down like a huge rabbit hole and end up making the entire video about this, which is not what the video is about. So that's Heat. Now Howdy is the easy me-mail, multimedia email maker. So sure, we'll install this. Hi there, thank you for checking out Howdy, the multimedia postcard maker by Alta Vista Technology. Okay, this is another program that I have never used, but it's neat that you've got all this stuff just on here for free. So Howdy, apparently you could send, oh, this is like just a trial version of it though, because it just tells you order Howdy today and get tons more backgrounds, audio, and video files. It costs $24.95. So, oh my gosh.
Welcome to Howdy. To make a postcard, first select a background.
So we've got some voiceover stuff going on. This is literally going to turn into like this video is just going to turn into like just all this crap that we have to take a look at now. Because I don't want to just skim past this.
Can be used to add
oh my gosh, shut up. I'm trying to talk. Jeez, this like there's so much like people talking and music, like with the Heat thing. We have so much stuff going on. It's like, oh my gosh, man. Yeah, I guess I should just accept at this point that this video is going to be about all this other random crap that we have on here. Because really, all we can do with the SyQuest drive is I can copy some files over to it and then copy the files back off of it. That's all I can do. That's the most exciting thing, unless the drive decides to break. So I guess we might as well explore explore this a little bit here. So let's make a greeting card, and let's pick, I can barely see what these say. Let's pick this one here. What does it say? Help, please, something? Okay, preview. Oh, look at that transition. Help, please send money. All right, that's a lovely greeting card. Okay, and yeah, you can add
this dialog box allows you to select an image for your postcard.
Yeah, I know
the
that's.
Crop button will
oh
allow
my
you to
gosh.
cut your image to fit the display area. The acquire button is used to
Is there a way to
import
turn
images
this
from
off?
compliant scanners,
Like, I don't want to hear him explain
the
what
checkbox on
this
the left
does.
must be checked if you want to include an image with this
Yes,
postcard.
I know that the check.
control
Oh
in
my
the middle
gosh, how
can
do you
be
make
used to
this? You
select
know what?
other-
I'm just gonna turn off the speakers. Like, it's like explaining to you what this is. Like, you got to pick an image from here, and then you have to make sure you check include image to make sure that it's included. It's like, no duh, dude. Holy crap. Okay, so let's pick wedding. Okay, that's a wonderful wedding photo. We'll include that. We can crop it, which loads up the image like bit by bit here. And then let's crop it down. Where's my mouse cursor at? Oh, there it is. So we hit OK. Sure, I didn't even crop it, but that's fine. And yeah, so you can do that. We can add some text, you know. Hello, world. Please send money. I'm going to leave it like that. Send money is one word now. And you enter your address here. I guess for the people to mail money or to whatever, like mail something back to you. So that's cool. So we'll save that. We'll just leave it at the default address here. Okay, done. You have to save it, okay, as an RTF. Just save it as T. You can add audio. Sexy.mid. Okay, what is this? Oh my god. I don't know if sexy would be the first word I'd use to describe that, but, you know, there it is. And that's a MIDI file. We've got a few other... What is null.wave? Oh, I guess that's null as in there's no... just null.wave. I'm sure that doesn't actually exist. That's just like the placeholder for no audio, which it should just say nothing. Oh, there is null.wave. Well, why can't we play it? It's just a blank audio file. Why do they even bother including that? Like, you can't just make... Why? What would be the reason for that? Because there's a checkbox here you would disable audio. For some reason, they have null.wave as like a blank audio file that doesn't actually have any audio on it. We've got intro.wave as well.
Hi, and welcome to Howdy.
Oh yeah, we're definitely not going to include that. That is super annoying. So let's just go with Rain 1. Oh yeah, listen to that low quality rain. That is some gloriousness. So we're going to include that, and we can include a video. Oh my. And we've got null.avi again. The other one is fun play. So, okay, we'll get that, and then you can preview it here, and it loads ever so gradually. All right, so I guess you just hit...
So did I.
There's the...
That was the real rotating grapple board.
I've not seen that video before, but that's the video. And then here's... Okay, the rain sound effect actually worked pretty well for that moment. But that's what it is. So it's like making a little virtual postcard there that you can send to people. All right, so that's Howdy. We've got NovaDisk. NovaDisk SE for SyQuest technology. Oh, look at those sound effects. Or listen to those sound effects, rather. Don't you just love installers that have overly obnoxious sound effects for, like, hovering over buttons and stuff? So, yeah, we'll agree to the license terms. Okay, 10 megabytes of hard disk space. Sure. Oh, this is the backup software. Backup software for removable media devices. This version of software you have installed is designed for SyQuest. And they have a full featured version with more stuff, encrypted backups, a virus scanner, how much you want to bet it's McAfee, and sure, we'll view readme.txt. Alright, that's enough viewing of that. So, so we can load up a NovaDisk SE. So yeah, it's a backup software. You can pick where you want to back up to, what you want to name the file, and select your files, restore from backup, all that stuff. So yeah, there you go. And let's see what we have next. Okay, SpryNet. This was an ISP back then. Apparently they were acquired by MindSpring in 1998. So yeah, you got a help me document here. So we've got a Win31 folder, SpryIE, okay, NetTools, and KBase. So these are the knowledge base articles here. Dial-up networking. So let's go into the SpryE folder, SpryE, and we'll load setup here. Functioning modem, which, well, we actually have a modem in here. It's just not configured or set up properly. But yeah, we could try to do the 3.1 version here. Oh, look at that. Your complete internet experience. Does this come with a browser? So here's the folder here. It looks like, is this SpryNet Internet Explorer? Okay, so we've got an older version of IE here. Of course, it's going to yell at us and saying that it's not able to, you know, connect to anything because we don't have the modem set up. So here's the dialer here. But yeah, so it's a... yes, I want to hang up. There is a SpryNet badged version of Internet Explorer, which is actually kind of cool. So you've got the logo here. But this is IE, what, 2? Version 2.01, yep. You got a mail program, you got your dialer, phone book, README account setup. So yeah, so that's nice. We'll back out of that. You got your support folder, which has this exe file, demo shield player. What is this? Okay, open. Oh, okay, this is... Really, you have to, like, select that file? I guess you're supposed to double-click on this. Or no, that's something for DrawPlus. What is this? Oh, these are for, like, making... Oh, that's nice. These are for making labels for your cartridges. That is nice. But yeah, so you have to open up this file, and that brings up this. So... Okay, so here's a list of bonus software. So yeah, they got McAfee WebScan in here. You got Howdy, NovaStore, SegaSoft Heat, SpryNet, Net Results, WebVCR. We haven't gotten to that yet. And, okay, it goes through and it tells you all about them. You could hit install right from here. So maybe let's go to WebVCR. So what was this? Allows you to record web pages and store them locally on your SyQuest, SparQ, or hard disk drive. With this easy-to-use software package, you can have instant access to any website when you need it. This might just save the page to your computer, like as a local HTML file, which isn't that exciting. But okay, we'll hit install. It is the light version of this program. Setup's complete. Alright, so let's run WebVCR Lite. It's from Net Results. Your day 1. Oh my gosh. So we have to right-click on IE, left-click Properties, select Connection tab. Okay. So you have to like wait, connection, click the connections tab, and press OK. Press the WebVCR play button again. There we go. Okay. So for some reason you had to open up the properties panel and immediately close it. So you create a web tape file or open an existing one, edit the programming options and schedule, add or remove sites to be recorded, record the web tape, play back the web tape. The web tape defines the set of web pages you want to record and how to record them. Certain number of pages would be on the start page for each website you want to record. Okay, let's go with the defaults. And add a website by entering its URL. So let's go to theoldnet.com. We don't need a user ID or password. Use the default recording option. I'm done adding sites. Start recording now. So we'll save this as mysites.wtf. And so yeah, it just records the site so that you can browse it offline, basically. But yeah, looking at this is definitely more than just like saving a local copy of your web page, because it offers unattended operation, allows retrieval of web pages during off-peak hours, smart retrieval, fetches only those pages which have changed on the website, smart cache transparency, checks pages as you browse and automatically updates the cache if there are changes. You got a content organizer, support for your SparQ Drive, of course. And apparently, I was looking, I found this old article from back at the time when this software was released, and apparently people could use this to display almost like a video where it like shows you the movements that you made when you're going to a web page. So like if you wanted to show people like, oh, you have to go to this website and then click here and then log in and then click here, you could just record that with WebVCR and then play it back. And I assume there's like a file that you could send to people, and then they could open it up and you would be able to see exactly the steps that you performed. So it's definitely more than just saving a local copy, like going to, you know, like theoldnet.com here, and then going to File, Save As, and just saving it as a web page to your documents. So yeah, that's kind of a neat thing. I probably wouldn't have purchased that, but I mean, there's a nice little trial version of it in here. SpryNet we took a look at. So yeah, that's the bonus software, minus McAfee, which we're not going to really bother with. And set up your SparQ. Okay, so here's actually the SparQ Utility that we probably should have gotten to. This video has been kind of a disaster. I do apologize. So this is the utility that you can use with your SparQ Drive. But hey, you can't really blame me. This thing should have opened up. Like there should have been a shortcut right on the I guess maybe, you know what, I guess this was... This was it. Okay, so you can blame me. This was it right here. I started going through all these folders and didn't see setup.exe. So yeah, we should have done that first. Apparently there was a label design contest. Starting November 1997, and for every month for the next year, SyQuest will select the best, in our opinion, personalized cartridge label from the current month's submissions and award the creator a lifetime supply of cartridges, limit 50. Well, that's not a lifetime supply. That's not... A lifetime supply, limit 50. That's like saying, win a lifetime of money, limit $50. Oh man, that is quite funny. So yeah, you get a little contest here. You could send us your genius. And yeah, get to work. And that's why DrawPlus is on here, and that's probably why those sample labels are on here as well. Ah, it's all coming together now. It's almost as if they planned that. So yeah, let's just get, I've got so much stuff opened up here. Yes, get out of here. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. I don't need Howdy. Oh, here's the... This thing is still running in the background. So here's the utility that comes with your SyQuest drive. And so it's a little toolbar up here. And so you got format, duplicate, about, refresh, easy backup. Oh, actually, this is an entirely different backup program. So SyQuest has their own. And they include that other one from that other company. Yeah, let's go back to setup here. So explore your SparQ. So that just opens up the D drive. Multimedia video.
Who do you trust with your life? Your business life? Your creative life?
Probably not SyQuest.
Who do you trust with all the important things you store on your computer?
Oh my god, is it going to be SyQuest?
People store it on a SyQuest
cartridge. I would have never
Award-winning
guessed
SyQuest
that. Are
is
you
the
kidding
single
me?
most recommended and reliable storage brand in the industry. Fast enough to get your files when and where you need them. And inexpensive enough to make SyQuest the price-performance leader.
Yeah, only thing is they would have gone bankrupt like a couple years, if even that, after after this video was made. Credits. Here's all the people and companies that contributed to this. And yeah. So what else do we have? We are in support. Video is what we were just in. So that's, oh, it's actually an executable. Look at that. So that's the video. Support is what we just looked at. This was the thing that opens up, you know, this here. So let's see what SyQuest is. Let's run setup.exe. Oh, this is the utility. Okay, so we already have this installed. Oh, SyQuest installer. That's what that is. Video is the video again. WebScan is McAfee WebScan. We're not going to bother with that. And WebVCR we already explored. So that's everything that comes on. Let me just back out of this here, because I'll get it out here for the shot. We're going to eject the drive. That is everything that comes on the SyQuest SparQ starter drive. And we're going to pop it back into the system now. So that's why it is labeled starter. So it's kind of like the Iomega Tools zip drive that comes with the Zip 100 drives that has a bunch of stuff on it. You could, of course, just format this and just use it for whatever you want. And let's say you wanted to do that. So what I'm going to do is go to my C drive here, and I'm going to make a new folder, and we're going to call this SparQ. And we'll open this up, and then we're going to go to our removable disk D here, and we're just going to copy everything off of here and paste it in this folder. And there we go, of course, just like copying from any one drive to another. And just so you know, this drive has about 3/4 of used space, so we'll open up the properties panel here. So it's got to copy 717 megabytes over to the hard drive here, and it looks like it's going to take just under, well, 9 minutes, 8 minutes, so it's definitely moving decently quickly there, because it started at 10 minutes. So yeah, we'll get out of all that. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about the SyQuest SparQ removable disk storage medium. It definitely looked like something that had promise. I think if they had tried not to cut costs so much, this thing might have actually been a pretty decent competitor to Iomega, but even if it was, I mean, it was going to eventually collapse just like the zip drives did, because CDs were the future. I mean, especially when rewritable CDs came out. I mean, that was a huge deal. When people started to get CD burners, when they became more affordable, all of these super floppy formats would have gone by the wayside anyways. So, yeah, it's unfortunate that there were so many problems with these drives, but I think it's neat to look back on it and kind of wonder, you know, what if CDs never really caught on? What if they were never invented? What if one of these super floppy formats is what became the next industry standard? It probably would have been the zip drive if it was one of these formats. But yeah, there you have it. That is a little demo and exploration of the SparQ Drive from SyQuest. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, get subscribed, all that good stuff. And as always, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.